asked, but I'm not sure.
Oh, are you gonna interview us again?
Yes.
Oh, I love that. This is my favorite.
And, you know, I got as this comes to an end, I have to get my reel together. So when they fire Michael from Regis, with Live with
Yes.
Kelly,
Is he doing okay?
I think he's doing all right. But I don't know. I watch and I get like, he's just
He's
not.
not
It's not
Regis.
right. I don't know.
I think it's just he's
Eric
so
generic.
big and she's so tiny next to him. It seems weird.
Yeah.
I mean, what, did they just do that for like because he was a football player and wanted that?
I think they thought like, let's
base?
get different blood. Let's see if we can get some younger people and not have a median age of like 70 of viewership.
Yeah.
So hey guys.
Hi.
Hello.
So here we are again, and it's sort of the end of this journey. And I'm really curious, you know, in 5 years, when you signed on, I'm sure, to Catherine Hardwicke's vampire, you know, $40 million vampire movie, did you think in your wildest dreams it would be even half of this?
I don't think we thought it was going to be anything like this.
You know, we were standing in
We
the
were very
woods,
skeptical. You know,
in
I
the
think.
rain, going like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, we had rain coming down, our makeup was
Yeah, and
streaming
the
down
wigs
our
were
face, the
falling
wigs were
off,
falling
and-
off. We were like, we looked like the Munsters, and we were like, this is going to end our career. This is going to be really bad. And we had no idea that Catherine was putting together such a cool movie, because you don't know the tone of the movie. I think once you know what the tone of the movie is, then you get it. But
Yeah,
when you're just
she nailed
shooting
it.
scene by scene, and you're like, in the hands of the wrong director, it could have been terrible.
Oh yeah.
You know, because it was very delicate material. It could go really goofy very quickly if you don't deal
No,
with it
she
the right way.
birthed it. I mean, she
Yeah.
really made it what it is today.
In some ways, I feel like it's almost like, I mean, this is going to be a cheesy cliche, but like a high school. It's like every year came together, but there were some new people, new directors, and sort of now that's sort of come to an end after 5 years. Is it, what's the overall sentiment and feeling?
I think the last movie, it definitely felt like that we had a whole new crop of actors come in, and we felt like, you know, we had senioritis, you know, and we were like, they were all kind of coming into the fresh school, looking at it like, wow, this is really cool. And then they were going out and hanging out, and they had their new freshman clique, and they were like, come out with us. And we were like the old people that were like, no, we're going to bed. You know?
Yeah.
We've done that already. Now we're going to 15 more minutes of sleep in the morning is
Yeah, you learn
is a
how
luxury.
important that is.
Yeah. And so it's kind of fun to watch them go through it because we had that. And then, you know, we were the old seniors. I think it was actually felt like we were the freshmen in college that were still kind of going to high school. Like we went to high school for 5 years instead of 4.
Yeah, it was a trip. I mean, it was sad. I mean, it's sad right now because like this is the last time I'm gonna do a junket with Peter, and you know.
I'll say that we'll do another.
That
movie
makes me
again.
sad, you know. But
She's like, I'm never working with this guy.
I will
again.
never work with him again.
Professionals in that movie, I'm not even going.
When I said it was the last junket, I was thrilled. No, but I mean, it's just, you know, seeing the movie the other day was very, very emotional, and you know, but it's time. It's like we're so lucky that we got to finish this thing.
Yeah. I feel a sense of closure just knowing that we got to finish all of the books. You know, that's a big feat. I mean, when we first started, there was only 3 books. So our goal for the first movie was, hey, if enough people go and see this movie, maybe we can get a second, we can go do, you know, the second book, maybe, possibly. And then, you know, the fans came out in such great support.
It was crazy, too, right? When it opened, I remember my mom emailed me something like, 67 million or something, like, because that's what we opened with, or was it 70 million or something, and it was like this shock.
Yeah, it was almost numbing, like you didn't really believe it, you know, because we didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know.
What was the moment for each of you where you thought, oh, wow, this is something way more than I thought? You know, whether was it the premiere, Comic-Con, a fan on the street, like what was the moment where you thought like, okay, like this is something that's in the zeitgeist, that's a cultural phenomenon, like I'm in something bigger than I realized?
I know for me, I mean, it happened so many millions of times because I kept being shocked by it every time, but the very first time I was doing a show in San Diego, I was working on something else. I think I hadn't even shot the movie yet, or I'd just been cast, and I was sitting at a restaurant, and these girls from Mexico came up to me. The movie had not come out yet, and said, "Are you Esme?" And I was like, it was so bizarre and amazing. I like, they hadn't even seen the movie yet, didn't know me from anything else, but knew that I was Esme.
I think for me it was the first time I realized this was such a huge phenomenon was Well, there were two. One was after we finished wrapping the first movie. The movie hadn't come out yet, and I was in Hawaii, and people were reading the books, like all along the beach. People were reading this book, and I was like, "Wow, that's pretty cool." And I was like out on this deck, which you had to swim like 20 feet out to this deck, and some girl, like 14-year-old girl, swam out there, and she said, "You're playing Carlisle in Twilight, aren't you?" And I was like, the movie hadn't even come out yet, so I was completely shocked. But I didn't think it was, even at that point, I was just like, that's kind of weird. But when it really hit me was the premiere of Twilight, because we showed up, I got out of the car, and it was like 4 blocks of screaming fans. And you're literally turning your head going, "What? Who are they screaming for?" Like the Beatles showed up or something.
Nobody warned us.
Like, nobody warned us that it was going to be like that.
The entire town of Westwood had been shut down. And I remember driving up and having that same thing of like, what is happening?
What is happening here?
I've been to a million premieres, obviously. Like, there was everywhere you turn, and they would be like screaming my name.
And the movie they hadn't seen the movie yet. And they were all so excited and so happy. And the only thought that was going through my mind was, if they don't like this movie, this is going to become a very angry crowd that's going to chase us out of this movie theater. And thankfully, they liked it, and they've been supporting us ever since.
They were just camping out.
Yeah, they were just camping.
I don't think anyone knew it.
Yeah.
Not the studio, not anyone except the police who were in Westwood going, "What the hell is going on?" Knew what was that. There's not a lot of time, and you have to go, but favorite moment, favorite memory from the last movie?
I think the wedding was really spectacular from Breaking Dawn 1.
Yeah.
And then Breaking Dawn 2, I think the battle sequence will always be ingrained in my mind because we shot it for like 3 weeks. I mean, I never got sides that were
6
like
weeks.
this thick, and you were like, we have to do like 30 pages of script in this one area. And every day we were just kind of like doing different parts of this sequence because there was a lot of talking back and forth and then this crazy battle. And it was... I've never shot a scene for that length of time in one area.
My favorite scene from part 2 was Michael Sheen and Omar Matwali, and it's a scene that's cut out of the movie, actually.
What?
They cut that scene out, and it happens. There's no rhyme or reason; you just have to move it along. But it was a gorgeous scene, and I suddenly was like really overwhelmed by what powerful, great actors they are, and it was just so great to have them in the movie.
Out of time.
No.
You got to go see Ellen.
We got.